Mhm. Okay, and we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in with us on this fine Monday, wherever you guys are. I hope you had a very good day. So let's get down to business. Plenty to talk about on tonight's show. Talking transfers, of course. Takeover has gone very quiet, but the transfer window is well and truly hotting up. Already today, we have seen Mason Mount in for his Manchester United medical. So that is a deal we expect to come very soon. Do expect the announcement either tonight or in the morning. That is most likely, in my opinion. I can see Dan is down there in the comments. How mint is the new home shirt? What number does everyone think Mount will get? Thank you very much for that one, man. I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting a feeling that it might be number 19. I think that might be the number that we go for Mason Mount. So let's get talking. Let's get down to transfers, because the big one at the moment, it's going to be Andre Onana. So we have a big update from Fabrizio Romano, of all people. He has said this morning and on the afternoon show on United Stand that the deal is absolutely on for Andre Onana. He wants to join Manchester United. We want to sign him. It's just about agreeing a fee with Inter Milan. So where do we stand on the deal at the moment? United are happy to offer around about 40 million euros. Inter Milan want 60. So the natural meeting point, it's going to be 50. It's just, how do we get there? Do we get there with add-ons? Will we get there in terms of more upfront, less in add-ons? Let's find out how we get there. But I think this is a transfer that will get done. I think this is a transfer we need to get done, especially with David De Gea going. But I'm asking you guys as well. So we're running a poll in the comments, and we're asking, how many players will we sign? Because we're seeing a lot of talk. Very little budget, very limited budget. But at the same time, we are linked to hundreds of players all throughout this summer. So let's find out what happens. How many players do you think we will sign? So we're asking you guys, will it be 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let me know on the poll. Of course, we can assume Mason Mount has already signed for United, medical complete today. That will be only a matter of time. So let's get into the news. Let's get into the agenda. I can see Ashid is down there as well, saying good evening. Good evening to you as well, Ashid. Thank you very much for joining in with us, man. So let's get talking, and we're going to start with Andre Onana. Looks like the most likely transfer to happen next. So Fabrizio Romano, of course, has said a deal for Andre Onana is absolutely on. Talks are ongoing, but no bid has yet been submitted. Now, United, we know we take a long time to make these bids. It takes United forever to pull out the wallet, to pull out the credit card and get some money down on the table. We do this for several reasons. We like to know exactly how much we need to pay, exactly how much we're going to offer. Let's hope we make the bid soon, because all last week we did see from Italian sources and some English sources as well saying the bid would be going in very soon. But I'm very enthused by what Romano has been saying. I'm feeling that this is a deal that will get done. Just a matter of putting that bid in. We know the player wants to join us. We know we need a goalkeeper. We know Eric Ten Hag wants Onana. Let's see if a business deal can be done. Ashid is in there as well. Bring in Andre Onana. Absolutely. I'm excited to see how he will do at United. I think he will be joining. It's just a question of when, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be an if. I think it's a when. I am confident. I'm not going to put a percentage on it. Not going to say 90, 80%, but I am more confident that this deal does get done, and I would be surprised at this stage if United do not end up signing Onana throughout this window. So, in terms of other stuff coming in on Onana, obviously the most pressing one, Daz is down there as well, as long as they're working on it and the first bit is successful. Thank you very much for that one, man. Yeah, I think that's going to be the main thing. So, this is coming in from Matteo Moreno and from George Picone, and they are saying as well, United are considering their offer for Onana. They already know they will not let him leave for less than 50. So I think we've done some negotiation. I think the groundwork has been done on this deal. Inter Milan, they wanted 60. United are willing to offer 40. And now we're seeing from very good sources that he can leave for anything around 50. So I think we've managed to work them down, and I think we are managing to get this deal done. I'm feeling positive. Ashid is saying as well, 45 million plus 5 million in add-ons. Thank you for that. I think that's most likely. Let's see actually the comments are flying in tonight. Who we got? We got Greg down there, and we need Onana in fast. With Ten Hag's philosophy of the goalkeeper needing to play with the ball at his feet, it's going to totally change the dimension of how we will play, and it will take time to adjust. Absolutely, that is a brilliant point there from Greg. I think it will take a big period of adjustment because our backline, it's used to being deep because De Gea, he's not a great sweeper goalkeeper, so he doesn't come off his line too much. So I think it will take a pre-season to really adjust. That's why I want this deal done as quickly as possible. That's why I want to see Onana signed ideally this week. Let's see if we can get a bid accepted this week. Personal terms, not an issue according to Romano, so I am trusting that. Let's see, Henry is down there. Can I just say what happened to the extra money for this summer transfer window we were told about in January? We didn't spend any money on players. We're being lied to again and again. Absolutely, and I'm going to say it as well. And look, this is not a sourced piece of information. This is opinion. I think that one of the biggest things with this whole transfer window, it's the Glazer family. I do not think that FFP is as big of an indicator, as big as an effect on United in this transfer window as what the club are saying. I think it's the Glazers not willing to spend the money. I think what they want to do is keep the money in the club. So then that Sheikh Jassim in Qatar, if they do buy the club, have to pay that little bit extra. That's what I think it's coming down to, more so than actual financial fair play stuff. Big T is down there. In the time we have been going through this process with Mount, Liverpool have announced 2 players, deals done, there were medicals and revealed them. There is Slow and then there is us. Absolutely, man. United, we're not even a case of like slow and steady wins the race. It's like we just do everything at a walking pace. So I want to see us get this done. Honestly, I want to see players brought in as soon as possible. I think we are really limiting our chances of success because we did this exact same thing last season. I'm sure you guys remember. Tour 2022. Who did we have on tour? We had Lisandro Martinez, Ericsson, and we had Tyrell Malacia. And Martinez and Ericsson, they both joined the tour. We went on tour with only Tyrell Malacia signed. We did this last season. They promised us it would not happen this season. We are being lied to again and again from everyone. Yusuf is down there as well. Good evening, and we need Amrabat. Thank you very much for that there, Yusuf. We did see that from Italian sources today. Now, they had said that Manchester United, we were looking at Amrabat. Personal terms could be agreed. I haven't seen too much from other sources on that there, but I do know that United would be interested. We had an interest in the January transfer window. We wanted to bring in Amrabat, but then he chose to go to Barcelona over us. Ultimately, a move didn't happen for him to Barcelona. He could have joined United. Let's see what happens on that one. It will be interesting. Rajat is down there saying hello. Hello to you as well, man. Good to see you. And Terry as well, hoping 4 players brought in. I would like to see more, honestly. I think the more the better. But I do think, I think 4 might be it. I think if we get a striker and a goalkeeper plus Mount, that's 3. And then maybe somebody else, maybe another midfielder brought in. I think that is the most realistic sort of transfer we can look forward to. You comment in there as well from Aquila. I don't think it's an FFP issue. Chelsea are buying, Arsenal are signing. It's only United FFP are affecting. I think the Glazers are refusing to put money on the table as they are going out. Absolutely, man. I agree with you 100%. I think the Glazers are having as big an impact as what FFP is. Honestly, we've seen this done before. United, we've managed to spend a lot of money when the money hasn't always been available because we've managed to use credit facilities. We've managed to find money. I think United, if we wanted to spend a lot of money, we could do. St. Don Bosco as well. Why is it taking so long to sell the Deadwood? Look, it's taking a long time to sell our Deadwood. 2 reasons. First and foremost, we have the very, very high wage bill. And secondly, as well, a lot of these players, they're very happy to stay on a bigger contract and not play money. So I think that's disappointing, all things considered. But I mean, a lot of clubs will look at it. It's like, will a club, if you were looking to buy a striker, would you go for Anthony Martial, who you know will be injured and you know who already has £250,000 per week at Manchester United? So it's whether or not we want to go with that. Let's hope that we do. So let's get talking as well, because this Onana deal is one that's hotting up. So This is coming from Gazeta. Erik ten Hag has informed Andre Onana United will do anything to try sign him this summer. He had touch base to reassure the player and the club are trying hard to get a deal over the line. I think this is a deal that will get done. I think United, we will be signing Onana. I think it will happen. It is all the indications that it will happen. It is all the telltale signs. First and foremost, we're seeing the player agreeing to come. Now, personal terms, they're not an issue, according to Romano. I think it's just going to be, can we do a deal with Inter Milan? That's what it's going to come down to. Let's hope that something will happen on that. I really hope. I really hope that we manage to get this deal over the line. So I have an interesting comment in there. I can see it from Terry. So Rio says tomorrow something could be announced. I did see that. Now that is something I want to talk to you guys about. So Rio Ferdinand, as you remember, he came out and said several weeks ago that Sheikh Jassim was putting in another bid for Manchester United. He broke that almost first. So let's find out what happens. I don't know if it's going to happen. It might not. Rio Ferdinand, I mean, it's very easy with what he has said. He basically said he can't talk about it yet, but when it's announced, everyone will know about it. So that's kind of like, if it does happen, I'm going to look like I know everything going on. And if it doesn't happen, it kind of looks like, yeah, you know, something changed, but I couldn't talk about it. Let's see. Big T is saying our first preseason game is in 9 days. We need players now for preseason training. Absolutely, man. We have seen the first players arriving back for preseason already this week. Anthony Lisandro Martinez, a lot of the non-international players. Look, we have one player in. We have Mason Mount. That is a done deal. Be agreed. Personal terms agreed. Medical done. Mason Mount will be a United player probably tomorrow. I think we need more than that. I think we need to hurry up with this. Dan is down there. Ten Hag is a magician. He's getting the Glazers spending, even with FFP and us in top 4 and a trophy. And Eric, we trust. Thank you very much. And I can see the members emojis down there as well. Good to see you, Dan. And Big T as well. Thank you very much for joining in with us, guys. So let's get talking here. Let's get down to business, as they would say, as well. So we were talking Andre Onana. It does look like this is a signing that we're going after. By all accounts, from everybody who has any sort of credibility, United, the players we want, Mason Mount, Onana, and it looks to be Hojlund. That looks to be the 3 players we're going to sign. Now, if we bring in more players on top of that, I would be very, very happy. There is still work to do, but I think that is a very good foundation to your window. Let me just do this. Yeah, so I think if we do that, it's very, very good foundation to the window. I think after that, I would like to add with Seals. But look, if we can bring in Onana and Hojlund and Mount, and those are the players we buy with our budget, then we sell some players and we bring some more in, I think that's an ideal window. Whether or not that's what happens, let's find out, because I am begging that it happens. Honestly, guys, I know you guys are as well, because we want to see these players brought in. We want to see 5 or 6 players. I think 4 probably is the most realistic sort of target we can hope for, because Glazernomics will be in effect, of course. Erik ten Hag, he does only want high quality players as well. So I think it will be difficult to bring in 5, 6, 7 players, because at the level we need those players to be at, we're going to be talking £50 million per player. So I think that is, unless we're going to be smart, work around it, look for some short-term deals, maybe some younger players coming in, I think that realistically we are looking at probably 3 to 4 signings max. That's my thoughts. Rajat is saying United Feyenoord goalkeeper. There has been links to that. Now, it does seem to be that this is a case. It does seem to be that this is pretty much is a case of him being the second choice goalkeeper to bring in. That could be the potential avenue that we go down. United, it has been said, if we cannot get the budget to sign Onana, we could bring back De Gea and sign a second choice goalkeeper. That might be what happens. Big T is down there. Can we get a moment of appreciation for Saudis for taking Slippy Gerrard away from us as possible? Yep, it's gonna be Saudi Stevie now. He has gone to Saudi Arabia with Robbie Fowler as well, I believe. So I'm sure that will be an interesting one. I don't know how the language barrier is going to work with Scouse being spoke over there. Let's find out. LDG as well is saying the Glazers are the worst owners in top level sports. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys have screwed this club. They have sucked the life out of this club for 20 long years. And now on the way out, they're doing everything they can to get every last penny. They're dragging out the sale process. They're stopping us from spending money. That's what we're hoping for. We want to see them out as soon as possible. Luke is down there as well. We're talking Northampton. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much for joining in with us. Rijat is true. As well. And St. Don Bosco, do you think the Glazers will sell, or is it just hype? Thank you very much for all those comments. Look, there's always the fear of the Glazer family staying. That has always been here at the club, but I do think they will sell. I think they are going now. Whether it's going to take more months, more time, I don't know. If Rio Ferdinand was right last time, and if he can be right tomorrow, I would really appreciate it in terms of some sort of an announcement or some sort of news breaking. But I think the Glazers will sell, regardless of what happens. I think they've gone too far in this sales progress. If it does not happen, the club stock is going to crash. They'll probably end up in court as well for market manipulation and stuff. I think they will sell. Personally, that is my thoughts. Rajat says, did you look at Gerrard with United midfield? Yeah, yeah, it's a good one, man, as well. Like, you know, only one trophy for Gerrard compared to all those guys in terms of league titles. So let's get talking as well, because we do have some other transfers to look at. So a new name being linked to Manchester United, and I make this about the 500th player linked so far this window. We're talking Thiago Almada from Atalanta FC in America. Young Argentinian midfielder, does seem to be quite good. I've seen a lot of talk about him before in the past, and he does seem to be one of those players who we see pop up in a transfer window. It might be that United sign him. He smacks to me like a player that United will pass over, and then he might go to Benfica and do really well. And then if we want to buy him, it's going to cost us 50, 60 million. That is kind of what I would expect with this. Satwant is down there as well, saying Glazers out. Thank you very much for that one, man, of course. And as well, guys, we are running a poll in the comments. How many players will United sign in this transfer window? Will it be 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let me know down below. Or if you guys think 5 or 6, get a comment in as well. I want to know what you guys think. What is the realistic outcome of this window? Do you guys think we will get all the players we need? Will we get some? Will we only get Mount? Let me know on the poll as well, guys. Dan is saying, do you think McNeil will play some games on Sure? I think he will. I think he will. Obviously, he went to Newport County. He did quite well there. Didn't really set the world alight, but he did make a difference. I think he will go because we're going on tour. We've only got Anthony Martial as a striker. I think he'll bring Charlie McNeil for sure. I think we'll probably see a lot of young players on tour. Of course, Garnacho is going to be there, but I would expect to see Kobe Minu in there. Perhaps we see Alvaro Fernandez, the young left back, Isaac Cantonaro, guys like that could be on the tour. So the tour is always exciting. As Big T said, the very first preseason match will be in 9 days' time. I'm looking forward to that. We will do a live watch along here as well for you guys, so long as it's not through working hours as well, because I do have to go to work as well, guys. But if I can do it, I will do it absolutely. Let me see as well. Who else have we got down here? So we have Alfredo Padula is saying Eric Ten Hag wants Andre Onana at all costs, despite being offered Justin Bilo as a cheaper option. So what does that mean? That means Eric Ten Hag says, I want a goalkeeper. That means the club, the board, the Glazer family are saying, yes, of course, Eric, you can have a new goalkeeper. Here's a cheap guy from Feyenoord. And Eric Ten Hag is saying, no, I want Onana. That is the guy he wants. He is adamant this is the player he wants. We need to back the manager, because far too many times Eric Ten Hag has had to make do with second or third choices. Let's get the guy what he wants. Goalkeeper, it's so important to what Eric Ten Hag wants to do. In terms of building out from the back, being in possession, he needs a top level goalkeeper. And if he wants Onana, we get him Onana. That's what I think we have to do. Big T says, would you rest Martial and not play him on tour to keep him fit for the start of the season? Honestly, man, we could wrap him up in bubble wrap and he would still get injured. I mean, Anthony Martial, I'm pretty sure pulled his hamstring listening to a speech by Eric Ten Hag in the last home match of the season. So anything is possible. I mean, the guy probably, he could do his hamstring getting out of bed in the morning. He could pull his back whenever he's in the shower. Like, that is the level we're talking with Anthony Martial. He genuinely is made of glass, and he is very, very fragile. And it's annoying because we only have one striker. So already we know what's going to happen. Chances are he will get injured on pre-season tour. Chances are it could be Rashford through the middle on tour. I reckon that's what we're going to see. And it's annoying. We wish that wasn't the case, that we had a striker we could depend upon to be fit. But let's talk about a striker coming in, and let's get talking about Rasmus Hojlund. So, been talking about Hojlund for several weeks, so we do have several updates here, and a little bit of it's conflicting. So I want to try clear this up, try to let you guys know exactly what's going on with this Hojlund deal. So we can see here, Ding Jones is saying Manchester United believe they can sign Hojlund for £45 million. Now we have Romano on the other hand saying that Atalanta want between 60 and 70 million euros. That's a big difference. There's a big difference in what we want. In terms of what we have with Inter, now Inter Milan for Onana, we're offering 40 at the moment. They wanted 60 and they have come down to 50. So a deal is there to be done. When we're talking 20, 30 million pounds, however, that's going to be a lot of negotiation. That's going to be a lot of proper talk. We're going to have to work something out, whether it's Ahmad going on loan there perhaps for a season, get him some experience and give Atalanta a top level goal, a top level player as well to get Hojlund. Maybe that's what we have to do. But it does look unlikely, and we have to say that I don't know if I back Manchester United to talk down Atalanta over that sort of price. I genuinely don't know if I can back us because the evidence just is not there. We have, of course, caved on the Mason Mount deal. We have paid Chelsea almost exactly what they want. But what the problem is, Atalanta want nearly double what we're asking for. So we can see this from Romano. He has said, of course, let me just get this into the chat. You guys can check it out as well. They want 60 to 70 million euros, and that might not even be enough. So they're genuinely looking a lot of money for Rasmus Hojlund. Manchester United, we're trying to get him on the cheap. I think this comes from United looking at Hojlund as a young player, perhaps not guaranteed to score as many goals as an experienced option, but I think it's unfortunate. I do want to see us bring Hojlund in. I think we're looking at a very good long-term prospect there, someone who will come in, score goals for now. I think Hojlund could score 20 goals next season. And I think from there, he will only improve as well. He will get better and better and better. Now, whether or not we want to spend that caliber of money, if Man City wanted him, they would do it. If Arsenal wanted him, they would do it. It's going to come down to the Glazers. It will come down to FFP. As always, I hope beyond hope that we just go out and bring someone in. Dan's made a very good point there as well. Taremi is another option being talked about, and he's on the other end of the spectrum. Mehdi Taremi is 30 years old, but he is still a very good striker, and he could be a very good option to bring in for 2 to 3 seasons. And then maybe next season we can bring in the real big striker that we've wanted all along. Maybe that's what we do. I don't know what we're going to do with this. Look, with Onana, it's difference of around £10 million. That can be worked out. That can be done in add-ons. Perhaps we could go to 45 plus £5 million in add-ons for performances or whatever. Make them fairly easy to achieve. Maybe that's what United do. Inter Milan, of course, they do like add-ons as well. So there is potential there for a deal to be done. When we're talking 30 million euros, I don't know if I back this club. I do not think that I really have confidence in United going out and actually managing to do that deal. We know what United are like in transfers. We do pay over the odds for everybody. We call it United tax. United tax, it does exist, but it exists for one reason, and that is because Manchester United are crap at negotiations. That's the biggest thing. Like, we don't see Liverpool overpay, and that's because they are good at negotiating. Even Man City, the richest club in the world apparently, they can get players for more affordable prices because they have shown before that they are hard negotiators. They will walk away if they think they're being rinsed. And United, we have a big record of just caving in on these players. It's so frustrating. Let me see. Keith is saying we should get Santiago Jimenez from Feyenoord. It's an interesting one. Big T says, makes me wonder, is Martial vegan? No offense, just a thought. I don't know, man. That might be something of interest. Like, there's definitely big differences in players, and dietary stuff can be a big difference. I actually think Chris Smalling stopped eating red meat, and he was a lot fitter when he went to Roma. But like, it can make a difference, absolutely. Rajat is down there saying keep Fred and get rid of McTominay. Let's get talking about Fred, because this is coming in from Neil Custis. So he is saying that Manchester United would listen to offers of around £15 million for Fred. And I was asking you guys last night, we were asking, should we sell Fred or McTominay? The overwhelming majority of you guys, you all went for Scott McTominay. And I think Fred's a better player. I think that McTominay is more valuable, and it makes more sense to sell him. That's what I would look to do. Personally, if it came down to me, I would like to sell both. I think we can do better. I would like us to do better. It's just whether or not we have the overall ambition to do that. An ambitious club with owners and a board that want to win would say, let's get rid of the players who are not good enough and let's bring in players who are good enough. But obviously, there's a lot of different things at United. We have to work things out. We have to tiptoe around the Glazer family. We cannot look like we're trying to spend too much money, and we are just a genuine mess of a football club. Rajat says, let's get Arda Güler and don't let him go to Barcelona. Absolutely, I agree with that. I think he's a brilliant young player. I'm very excited to watch him develop as well. Who else have we got in the comment? Onana deal probably gets hijacked by Chelsea. I don't think so, man. I think Chelsea will go with Kepa as the first choice goalkeeper. Who else have we got? Big T. Some people are still talking about Emi Martinez. Do you think there's any chance on that one? Honestly, man, I don't think so. I think if we're talking Emi Martinez, I think we're looking at a similar price to what we would pay for Andre Onana. So I think we're more likely to go for Onana in that situation. Haven't seen too much in terms of overall links to Martinez in the last week or so. So I think that might just be one, but maybe he's on the list. Maybe that's where we're working from. This genuinely happens a lot with the United transfers. What we do is we have like an A list, a B list, a C list, and then we kind of work from there. So I do think overall that we could see, we might see Emi Martinez, but I think he will be lower down on the priorities. I think Andre Onana seems to be first choice. Then I would maybe, look, I would take Emi Martinez over this Justin Bilo guy. Personally, if it came down to me, I would take Diogo Costa in the morning. I think he is brilliant. He would be my first choice, but I don't know if that's going to be happening. Porto not coming down on the price. So I think what United are going to do is go for Onana. So look, I think Emi Martinez is a brilliant goalkeeper. I love the antics as well. I love all that shithousery. Like it, there's not enough of it in football, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll go for him. Let's see. Loads of guys are in here as well. Lizanne Gold says Glazer out. Rajat is down there, and Arteta's son. Please, you have to say this. What's that there? CBS dropped an exclusive. Haven't seen anything on that one, man. Dan is saying as well, there's only one Martinez. Leach is the best. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep Leach Martinez, absolutely. I don't see anything from CBS here as well. There are Arteta's son. Let me see who else is down in the comments for us. Rajat is saying Martinez and Emi Martinez. Not sure if that's a good link up. And Lecanio as well is saying new owners must get rid of the director of football, his staff that deals with negotiations. Let's start fresh. Let's get rid of the status quo being poor negotiators. Absolutely. And that is something we did see. We've seen this in terms of a Radcliffe article, and we've seen this from a Sheikh Sim article. They are both saying that what United, if they're bought over, new guys will be coming in. The likes of Fletcher, the likes of Arnold, John Murda, their head will be on the chopping block, and we will be bringing in some new guys in charge. And I think that's nothing but a good thing. We could not have any worse negotiators or guys running this club. So let's see what we can do. Let me see. Oh, actually, I do see the CBS report, and this is coming in. So this is coming in. CBS Sports saying Al Nassr have launched a lucrative offer for Man United target Andre Onana. I don't know if I believe that. Like, look, I mean, they might be interested, but I mean, I think Onana wants Premier League football. But we will put it into the chat as well. So I'll put that in for you guys. I would be shocked if it happens. Like, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think maybe they'll go for De Gea. They can have him. Let me see who else is down there. Rashad says Kim is confirmed to Bayern, and SPK says I'm skeptical of the takeover news, but let's hope it comes tomorrow. And Sheikh Sim wants to clear out the entire board. Absolutely, man. I want to get rid of the board. Ship those guys out. They have had chance after chance after opportunity after opportunity, and they have let us down every single time. I mean, look, last season it was a complete embarrassment to see your director of football, your CEO, in for talks with Frankie de Jong in Barcelona, not once, but twice, and not get the player. That is embarrassing for me. You bring in the big guns when you want the deal done. I mean, I don't back those guys. I have no confidence in Richard Arnold. I have no confidence in John Murda. I mean, look, John Murda signs Mason Mount. The first thing the guy is doing is he's running to Manchester Evening News saying, "We did a great deal. We didn't get bent over. We stood firm." No, you didn't. You paid £55 million for a guy who has 1 year left on his contract, who was going to leave for free regardless. You paid exactly what Chelsea wanted. Big T says, would you give Sir Alex a role as director of football? I mean, obviously nobody knows more about football than Sir Alex, but probably not. I think we want to let Fergie enjoy his retirement. I think what we want to do is hopefully bring in someone who has been working as director of football recently, who will have the industry links, will have players shortlisted, who has been looking at, and that's what I think is going to be more important. That's what I want to see from United bringing in anybody. SBK is saying the Glazers corporate yes man Ed Woodward created the problem to begin with. Absolutely, and I'm sure you guys remember Ed Woodward famously sat down on a Manchester United tour and he said the exact words, "We're Manchester United, we can do things in the market that other clubs can only dream of." Okay, Ed, well done. You've told everybody that we will just pay ridiculous money, and he loved to do these deals. And what United's big problem was, we would be bringing in players who were good elsewhere, who were good, big players elsewhere. They didn't fit in the team. We just brought them in because they were big players, and I think that's a big problem. Bodie on YouTube is down there saying, "Hi, how do you, man? Thanks for joining in." Rajat says, we get took on rides when we negotiate. Absolutely. And Dan saying, Woodward left the preseason tour to conduct important transfer business. Mold and Murda, brace, thrash out, De Jong deal. Oh, Arnold, yeah, sorry. I don't know why I read that as Mold. Yep, absolutely. They do employ yes men, they employ clowns. It's guys who they know will come in and will not spend a lot of money, or will go after the players who might bring in more shirt sales or merchandise sales or something like that. That's what it's all about. Lucky is down there as well. 2442 stock market for siblings. We wish they get the green light. Thank you for joining in, Lucky man. Love the comments as always. Let's hope we get to see some movement this week. And if Rio Ferdinand is coming out and saying that, I hope it's right. I personally doubt it, because we're not seeing any of the big institutions, or Reuters, or Bloomberg's, Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, guys like that saying that anything's going to be happening. But let's find out what happens. So we have an update on Rasmus Hojlund coming in from Sky as well. So they're saying United are in talks with Atalanta over the signing of Rasmus Hojlund. There is a gap in valuation, but it is thought the player wants to make the move, and that might be the difference here. This might be one of the things that gets it done. If Hojlund puts in a transfer request, maybe that forces their hand something. I hope maybe he's pushing on his side. Let's find out. We very rarely see players put in actual transfer requests anymore. I would like to see it happen. Rajat is saying, get the Glazers kit when you customize your kit and email them. Absolutely. And as well as that, guys, for anyone who is on Twitter, the 1958, as we know, the organization running a lot of these United fan protests, they're running an online protest as well. So I would like to direct you guys to that. So basically what they've managed to do is somehow get an email for the Rain group. So if anybody wants to check out the Twitter and join in with that online campaign, feel free to do so. And I have told you guys about that as well. So yeah, that is out there. I would be very surprised if Al Nassr go after Onana, or if he goes. I mean, United, we can offer him a big money contract, and we can offer him chances of winning trophies, playing in Premier League football. I don't think he'll go to Saudi Arabia at 27. Big T is saying, include Sancho on loan to Atalanta as part of the deal. And Dan is saying, number one on full sale. Back on the shirt. You would love to see it, honestly, man. Does look like United are going to sell Dean Henderson, so this is coming from Chris Wheeler, saying that Dean Henderson is still in talks over a potential deal to Nottingham Forest, £15 million. That looks like it's going to be a deal that happens very soon. Rajat says, will they take minor money to develop Old Trafford? I doubt it. I don't think they're going to take minority investments, because look, what it will do is they will go and take more money out of the Glazers' hands. If somebody else is looking dividends out of the club, then that's going to affect the Glazers' pot of money. So I don't think they're going to do that. I would expect to see. I think it's going to be. I think it will be Qatar. I've been saying this for a long time. I think Qatar will be the guys who win this. Now, whether Radcliffe comes in with something late on in the deal, let's find out. But I do think that Qataris are probably going to win. I think that's most realistic. It does look like Mason Mount will be the number 19 as well. And we have Lincoln Johnson down there as well, saying 3 signings this summer with the money we have to spend. Thank you for that one. And Wesley is saying the board needs to learn from Chelsea how quick they can offload a player. Yep, absolutely. And that's ridiculous. I mean, Chelsea have overspent so much money, spending £600 million since Bowley's come, and they can still sell players at a much better price. And that's something that's really concerning to me. I mean, they're selling Ruben Loftus-Cheek for £20 million to AC Milan. We couldn't sell Bruno Fernandes for £5 million probably. Like, I mean, this is the way we run. I mean, if we wanted to sell Rashford or sell the whole team, we'd probably get about £3.50. I mean, that's the kind of negotiation that United are working with. We do actually have another example of it as well. So Man City goalkeeper James Trafford is in advance talk over a £20 million move to Burnley. This is a guy who's never played football for the first team. He hasn't made a senior debut, and they're getting £20 million for him. I mean, what else needs to be said? United's board, we are incompetent. We should be getting a lot more money. Looking at Zidane Iqbal, 850,000. Looking at Ethan Laird, 750. We're looking £2 million for Eric Bailly. I mean, other clubs would get a lot more money than that. It's so annoying. Let's see. Big T is saying Glazers out has failed for 18 years. Let's try reverse psychology. Glazers in. United SPK is saying United were meant to sign Tony Kroos. It fell through because Moyes got the sack. Yeah, that seemed to happen. It fell through because Moyes got the sack. It fell through as well. Van Gaal for some reason didn't fancy Tony Kroos. I don't know why, man. What a player Tony Kroos has been for Madrid. We could have bought him for £20 million. Look, I mean, United, if genuinely if we managed to buy our midfield targets under David Moyes, we would have been playing a midfield 2 of Cesc Fabregas and Tony Kroos. It would have been fun to watch. Lincoln is down there. Should be positive news tomorrow about the new owners. Yes, let me get that into the chat for you guys, because I actually have the quote here for myself. So this is coming from 5UK. So Manchester United takeover. I'm hearing some big things happening tomorrow. Once it happens, him and Rio can have the conversation. I believe that's talking about David Ornstein. Let's find out what happens there. Hot Fuzz is down there as well, one of our channel members. Thank you very much for joining in with us as well. And as well as that, guys, Hot Fuzz runs his own channel as well, covers a lot of United stuff. So if anybody wants to check out his channel, feel free to do so. I'm sure he would really appreciate all the love from you guys. Let's see. Smash up the likes. Yep, if anybody wants to hit like, that would be massively appreciated, guys. Rajat says, let's sing Glazers in, or we love the Glazers, to meaning way. And Lucky is saying, let's have a full sale. Absolutely, man. I want a full sale. I cannot wait about this. Dan is saying Rio was right about Ronaldo coming back. Yes. Wesley as well. Amrabat would be a good rotation player for Casemiro. I think Amrabat would be brilliant. I mean, he can play in that role. He can also play a little bit further forward. And he's a very good passer of the ball. So I think that would be a nice signing. And if we went in next season as with Bruno and Eriksen, Mount, Casemiro, and Amrabat, I think that's a brilliant midfield 5. And then we're looking at maybe copying Menu off the bench, or maybe we're looking at keeping one of Fred or McTominay, hopefully Fred out of those two. And I think that could be a lovely, lovely midfield as well. Torrin says Amrabat will be a big signing. He could be if we get him as well. And Yusuf is saying Qatari. Look, I hope beyond hope that Rio Ferdinand is right, because look, guys, I am so sick of this takeover. I just want it done. It's one of those things. It's going on forever. It's a never-ending story. Let's hope that we've managed to get some news on it tomorrow. If we do, I will be on tomorrow on a live. We will be celebrating if we're actually getting sold. I personally doubt it, but I mean, we would love to see it. Big T is saying when the Glazers eventually go, what will we complain about? Absolutely, man. I'll tell you what we complain about. We'll just be like a normal club. We'll be blaming the manager, the players, the board. There's always someone to blame, and obviously, as you guys know, with people being so into one player, a lot of player FC going about, it will always be someone else's fault. I mean, Harry Maguire probably was at fault for every United goal this season, even when he wasn't on the pitch. I mean, De Gea, for instance, some people think he can do no wrong. Some people think he can do no right. So we will, of course, be saying the usual stuff. Look, if the Glazers are gone, I think that's a good thing, because then if things are going wrong, we can point at other options. We can say, you know, the investment hasn't been right, or perhaps we need a new manager, or we need a new striker. Maybe the board need replaced. Maybe a new director of football, something like that. Normal club problems would be nice. We are Manchester United. It is very annoying whenever we're trying to tell these guys that yes, it is genuinely the Glazers' fault that United are struggling so much. Let me see. Dan is saying Mount down there as well. Who else we got? Got loads of comments. Lincoln Johnson saying won't be until next season the new owners can spend money on transfers. Yep, absolutely, you're right there, man. So do not believe if you guys see, look, sorry, if this takeover happens, if we get a big announcement tomorrow and you guys are seeing reports from the Sun or the Daily Star or whoever it is saying United can now spend 500 million, it's not true. It is not true. We are working with a set budget, and this takeover will take a long time to finish, because we still have fit and proper owner tests. We still have to buy out the shares of a lot of people. Look, I think realistically, we could spend money in January. That's what I would like to see. I think that is a real potential. And I think we have a track record of this. The Saudis, they did it at Newcastle. They came in September time. What did they do? They went in January, they brought Bruno Guimaraes, they brought in Joe Willock, and they brought in guys like that. I would like to see us have a January transfer window. In the past, we haven't done it because it leads right up to the financial year, and that's why the Glazers didn't like spending that money at that time. Let's see, who else have we got? Dan is saying Mount Amrabat sounds like a mountain range somewhere. It actually does as well. Ashley Dallow was saying Rio Ferdinand said the same thing 3 weeks, and we are still waiting. To be fair to Rio Ferdinand, I do believe he did say that about another bid going in from Sheikh Tassim, and we did kind of get that as well. Rajat is saying, I'm tired of being so negative about this club. We want positivity. Absolutely, man. And look, I'm sure you guys know, I try to be positive on these shows. Sometimes the faith, it drops. Sometimes the belief, it drops. I've been feeling positive about the club and the takeover in the last couple of weeks. Now, admittedly, we're kind of coming back down on that. It's not going up anymore. It's kind of plateauing. It's maybe going down a little bit. But I do think that I'm feeling more positive than I was a month ago. I think looking at the players we're bringing in potentially, looking at the progression of this team, I think that's good. And hopefully seeing this takeover come to an end will be nothing but a good thing, because it is a big distraction at the club. It is all we can talk about as fans. I want to see United with this ownership who want to win, and then we can see what's going to happen with this club. Then we can see what Erik ten Hag is really made about. Let's see, Big T is saying, is it true Mount will be on a 5-year contract? That's too long if he flops. I would like to see a 1-season probationary period at the start of each contract. If you don't perform, the contract is null. That'll be a lot of money, man. Look, I think it is a 5-year deal, yes. We do usually say that. I think clubs do that to try keep value on the player. I don't know what's going to happen with Mount. He might be a massive success. He might be disappointing. He might be mediocre, or he might be a flop. Anything's happened. Anything could happen. Let's just see what happens. I'm going to give the guy some time. I think it will take time for him to settle in. I think he'll be playing alongside some different players, but I'm excited to see what he's going to do and what he's going to bring, because I think the positives outweigh the negatives. Let's see, Ashid is saying breaking news, Mountain Dew in any moment. And as well, SPK is saying it's time the McManus and John Magnier were good friends with Alex, and then they had a fallout. McManus and Magnier were United's longest shareholders, and then came along the toxic Glazers. Yep, absolutely, man. For anybody who does not know the story, the Glazers came into United because of a horse, the Rock of Gibraltar, I believe it was called. And yeah, I mean, that was kind of ridiculous, all things considered. Let me see as well. Dan is saying Wonder Will Bissaka do the same with Mount. Yeah, I mean, he did work wonders with Wan-Bissaka, and I think the more realistic one, it's going to be Rashford. I think Rashford and Mount are in two very similar situations. This time last season, Marcus Rashford, he came off a season with only 5 goals, and a lot of it was confidence, a lot of it was belief. And Erik ten Hag worked that back into his game. He worked the self-belief, he worked the confidence, and he worked Marcus Rashford from scoring 5 goals to scoring 30 goals. I think he can do something similar with Mount, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Big T is saying maybe Mount will be announced tomorrow with a picture of him stood side by side with Alfani. I doubt it, man. I very much doubt it. But I do think Mount will be announced tomorrow. I do think that will happen. Of course, it was actually said, I was watching Stretford Paddock earlier as well. They had a guy on, and for a while people didn't actually know who Sheikh Jassim actually was. I mean, he did kind of come out of nowhere. He isn't really a known figure, but let's see what happens. Let's see if we are going to go get him. So we do have an update coming in here from the Times, guys. So seems to be a three-way battle between Manchester United, Arsenal, and Liverpool for the signing of Romeo Lavia. So I think this is happening for many reasons. First and foremost, the buyback clause for Man City kicks in next season. So if we want to buy Lavia, we have to do it now. Will United spend 50 million on the guy? No chance. No chance whatsoever will we spend that much money. I would love us to do it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Paul is down there. Please release Martial. He is bad and he's had time enough to prove himself, but there is no sign of improvement. And SBK says, I hope Hojlund does not become another Martial. You know what? I do agree. I agree on both those points. First of all, what Paul is saying is correct. Martial has had a long time to settle in, a long time to really improve. I don't think he's got there yet. And I think one of the biggest things is, and always has been, always will be, his fitness levels. And I think that's the biggest thing that's limited his career. Anthony Martial came into Manchester United. In his first season, he was voted the golden boy. He was voted the best young player in all of Europe. So I think the ability has always been there with Martial. I think the big one is always going to be the injuries. I think they've held back his career, and it's happened for a lot of players. I've always hoped that Martial would somehow find fitness, that he would somehow make like a dietary change or a lifestyle change, look after himself, and not be made of glass. But I don't think that's ever going to change. And in terms of what SPK is saying, I hope Hojlund doesn't become another Martial. I don't think he will. He does seem to be fitter. He does seem to be stronger physically. So I think Hojlund might be all right. We don't want to speak too far in advance. I mean, he isn't a United player yet, but let's see what happens on that one. Big T is saying, I think Althani is an AI. Lincoln as well is saying the most important thing to United is we have a manager who could be titled world class if he gets the players he needs. Yeah, look, I agree with that. I think for Ten Hag to take us from where we were last season to finishing third, winning a trophy with basically the same group of players. I mean, in terms of first teamers, we've only really signed Casemiro, Sandro Martinez, and Anthony, really. I mean, I know Eriksen's played a lot as well. That was a free transfer. But a lot of the players were the same guys who let us down so badly. I said a few times last season, United, we have a good bunch of players. I think we are at the limit of what they're actually capable of doing in terms of their on-field performance. I mean, Martial is not going to become a fit player overnight. Harry Maguire is not suddenly going to become an Olympic sprinter and be able to play on the halfway line. De Gea at 32 was never going to be able to develop the passing game that he needs, and I don't think we're ever going to get enough goals out of the rest of the team. So I think the limit of what we have has been reached, and now we need to add on to that. If we can keep players playing at a high level, add some quality in there, that's how you get better on the pitch. Big T is saying, I find it interesting for a company that has already been given a contract to redevelop the offices at the club, but they're waiting for takeover to be complete. Honestly, man, that is true as well. Lincoln is saying it's time for Martial to move on, but we need another striker first. And Pastor Milner said the Glazers still managing United and Ronaldo cannot come back because the Glazers cannot handle the team properly. Thank you very much for that one. And Rajat says at least our midfield has 3 new players that Erik Ten Hag has brought in. Yes, we can say that. We can say now that Erik Ten Hag can field an entire midfield of players that he has signed, and I think that's good. I'm pretty sure Pep Guardiola has an entire squad of players that he has signed, but things do take time. I would like to see some more players brought in. I think that's going to really improve us on the pitch, and I think it's what we need to be doing. Keep backing the manager. Let me just get this in as well for you guys. But yeah, keep on backing the manager. Let's see what we can do long term, and I'm sure Manchester United will keep on improving. Let me just do this. Is that working? Yep, there we go. New comment in there from Phil. Why are United not giving Mateo Kovar a chance as new number 1? He won Yeah, he did win the league. I believe it was for like Sparta Prague or something. I think United will look at him, maybe say he could be a potential number two. Maybe that's what we go for. I would like to give the guy a chance. I mean, anyone who goes on loan and wins a league title, I think that's quite an achievement. I hope that we go for it. Let's see. Lucky is saying Onana bid in now. I heard a report. I will check that out, man. Of course. Let me just put this in here as well. Yeah, I'll have a check there as well. So, guys, I just fired in the membership link there. We have some amazing members on the channel here. Hot Fuzz, Dan, big shout outs. Big T, massive shout out as well. And Daniel, who I don't think is actually on the stream right now. Of course, you guys, absolute legends. Thank you very much for joining in with that. Really appreciate it. Let me see on this Onana bids coming in. Is it what MPB has put up? Maybe Lucky saying, is that there the one? Is that what we're going with? Let's see. Is it about this Onana Al Nazir bid? I don't think it's gonna happen. No, I can't see anything about this coming in. Luman is saying as well, will we finally get to see the Ten Hag ball? I think we're getting closer to it. Phil is saying thanks. No worries, man. I mean, I read out everyone's comments. They are there for a reason. Like, otherwise, I'm just talking to my camera, and it's a lot more fun talking to you guys anyway. We do have a good laugh on the show. Let me have a check here. I'm looking to see if what Lucky was saying has popped up on my newsfeed or anything here. Doesn't look like it, but maybe it has gone in and I just haven't seen it. Let me see. I'll come back to you guys. I don't want to sit scrolling on Twitter and on the news there trying to find out if a bid's gone in. As well as that, who else is down in the comments? Can see some more flying in there. And as well, guys, for anyone who has not voted yet, we have been asking you guys on the poll, how many players will we sign? Let me know down below. Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let me know on the poll. Or if you guys think we're going to have a summer madness and by 5 or 6, get the comments in. Katie is down there. Onana is going to be a rather tense, exciting time with this high-risk style. No pacemakers allowed. I have seen people saying that as well. We'll be talking about having oxygen tanks at Old Trafford. Look, it will scare people, but it's going to be something new. I think that is something people will be worried about as well. Let me just check. Yep, that membership link is down in the comments for anyone who wants it as well. SPK is saying United defence is still weak. Maguire a liability. Varane injury prone. Martinez played too much. Victor could be played more. Delo and Wan-Bissaka can play different positions, and Shaw is very dependent. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Look, I agree with that. I think Maguire's not good enough. I think Varane will be injured. So we're going to have to keep hold of Victor Lindelof. I personally would rather see Luke Shaw at centre-back than Harry Maguire. I think he has better levels. I think we're a better team with Shaw at centre-back and Malacia at left-back than we are with Maguire in there, for sure. Rick Barlow is saying, what are you saying about Amrabat? Well, in terms of Amrabat, man, let's get talking. So this came out from Italian sources. They basically said we had agreed personal terms. I haven't really seen any other real credible stuff out there about it, so I would be a little bit hesitant to jump in with any sort of we're gonna get Amrabat. I would say most likely it might be agent talk, but I stand to be corrected. He's a good player. I would absolutely take him. Let's see what happens. Big T says, if we sign Tammy Abraham, are you quitting? Job man, I actually don't mind Tammy Abraham. I don't think he's as bad as what people say he would be, but I think we can do a lot better. I do think that. Like, I mean, we've signed worse players than Tammy Abraham, to be fair. Lucky is saying not a deal for players. Ashid is saying Chelsea have sold almost £300 million worth of players. Yep, they have, but it's very easy to do that whenever you're talking to the Saudi Arabians, who are Todd Bowley's business partners. It's kind of a little bit of book cooking as well there, as we know. Look, Luman is saying as well, we're going to buy 5 players, including Lucky Singh. Absolutely, man. Maybe we'll get Lucky in there for United. Number 7 jersey. That's what we'll go for. Lucky 7 sounds good to me. Let me see. SPK is saying Delo is useful, can play right back, left back. Victor can play right back. Bissaka, Speed can make the difference. And Martinez can also play midfield. Yep, he can. And that might be something we see this season. I think we need more players brought in. I think we need backups to Casemiro. Whether that's going to be Lisandro Martinez, I don't know if I would go for that. But we'll see what happens. Phil is saying, yeah, for Ron. Yeah, honestly, man, I'm talking maybe Jemba Jemba as well in there. Cleberson's definitely one of them. And Lucky is saying, I will do the running. Absolutely, man. You would do much more running than Anthony Martial, for sure. I would back you. Put a shift in. Good man yourself. Lucky is saying, and sorry, Lincoln is saying as well, United need a natural finisher as a striker. And with Rashford, there should be more goals and competing in the league much better. Absolutely, man. I do agree with that. I would like to see a natural striker brought in. That's what I want to see, because if we bring in the right guy, we're adding goals to this team. What if, look, the ideal situation is if we bring in a striker who scores 25 goals and Rashford can get 25 goals, that's 50 goals between two players. Bruno, as we know, will score 15 goals next season. We're expecting to see more from Antony, from Sancho, Garnacho. We'll have Mason Mount in the mix. Casemiro is good for 5 or 6 goals. So I think we can spread it around, but I do think a top level striker will be needed at some point. Jerry is saying cooking the books are on fire, as are cities. And Big T is saying Veron is not as bad as the stick he got. Nah, he wasn't, man. I think he wasn't that bad. A little bit before my time, but I think like my dad remembers him well. He was kind of saying like he was more hyped up than what he actually was, but he wasn't a bad player. But yeah, like I mean, Jemba probably up there. Bebe, certainly probably the worst player I can ever remember for Manchester United. Maybe Obertan as well, but I think Bebe was different quality. Let's see. Lucky is saying, would Rasmus Hojlund play next Garnacho? Yeah, I mean, Garnacho will play on the wing, Rasmus Hojlund will play through the middle, so that's what I think is going to happen. Phil is looking two strikers, Rasmus and Ramos. You guys are giving me tongue twisters tonight, but we love it. We absolutely love it. I would love to see Gonzalo Ramos, and I think genuinely, if we're going to look at 60 to 70 million for Hojlund, let's pay the extra bit. Let's get ourselves Gonzalo Ramos, because I think he's a better player at the moment. Big T is saying David Bellion. There's a crack and shout. What do you call the Italian goalkeeper? Maybe we could bring him back. Massimo Tabili, is it? I don't know. I probably really butchered the guy's name, but I mean, there has been some stinking signings at United, and even Sir Alex Ferguson was not immune from them. They get more right than he got wrong. Let's hope Eric Ten Hag can do something similar. Let's have some proper good signings brought in, because I'm backing the guy. I genuinely am, and I don't think I would say any of his signings have been poor. I think probably the worst has been Weghorst, but I mean, we knew Weghorst wasn't a great player. He was never signed to be a great player, but I think he came in and did a job. So I back Eric Ten Hag. I think he's earned our trust. I think he has earned the right to be backed, and I think he has a good eye for talent. Let's hope we can keep on going. SBK is saying Malacia was a bargain buy for us. Absolutely. And look, Tyrell Malacia, he's not the flashiest player. He's not the best player in the team. But what I will say about Tyrell Malacia, he does his job. He knows he's second choice, and he goes about it with a smile on his face. He plays when ready. He's always up for a match, and he's always there and will give 110%. So I completely agree with that. Dan is saying Andy Gorham. There's a shout and a half there from Dan. Brilliant one. And Terry is saying Tabili. Yeah, I can't pronounce or spell the guy's name, but I remember he's an Italian goalkeeper. My dad said he once complained his studs were too long, and that's why he couldn't get to the ball, because his feet were stuck to the ground. I don't know. Some absolute stinkers back in the day. Let's hope we do not have players that there much. Lucky is saying, I like players who do normal jobs. I mean, yeah, I mean, we kind of like. I do like simpler players. There's Bashar in there with a brilliant one. Alex Bittner as well. Alex Bittner came to United, scored a brilliant goal in his debut against Wigan, and then lost his place. Was never really seen again. Played once, I think, under David Moyes. Had a brilliant match against Ian Robin at Old Trafford, and then disappeared. Lincoln as well says they say we've 120 million to spend, but we bought mine for 55, so there's only 65 million left. Yeah, but I think as well, what United will do is try to spread the transfer fee out. It's like paying for it on Klarna, I guess. Maybe pay for it over 2 to 3 years. That's probably what we're going to do. Big T as well. Want to see more from Malacia this season. Has his best bits video before we signed him. Showed him flying up the wing and being productive. Yeah, I want to see some more of that as well. I would like to see that happen. I don't think we get enough from the fullbacks. Look, Luke Shaw does a brilliant job at what he does. You know, he's a fantastic progressor of the ball, and he adds a lot to the team. But I would like to see more assists. I would like to see more crosses, and I think we can see more, especially from Diogo Dillos, especially from the likes of Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Tyrell Malacia. I want to see more crosses into the box, and if we got a striker in there, get that guy some head of gold. That's what I'm saying. Stephanie is down there as well. Good to see you, Stephanie. Thanks for joining in. No, absolutely, you do not have to apologize for being late or anything. I mean, streams here, if anybody wants to catch up on it, I have no problem at all. Like, we're not taking attendance. Like, turn up whatever you guys want. Or if you guys want to miss out on an episode, work away. I mean, literally, I'm just here because of you guys, and if not for you guys, I probably wouldn't be doing this. So let me just do that. Just checking there for some latest. Doesn't look like there's too much coming in. Bashar is saying as well, Marcus Rojo. We got a Simon Davis shout as well. And Lucky Singh says, when the ball kicks wide, United are not suited to that. Yeah, I mean, look, we've very good wingers, but I want to see more crosses. That's what I want to see. Get some headed goals, because something that annoys me, it annoys my dad a lot as well when he watches, it's the lack of goals from corners. And we have some big guys in that team. We should be scoring a lot of goals from corner kicks, but we don't do it. It's so frustrating all the time to watch. SBK is saying, don't see anything about United selling Wan-Bissaka. Ten Hag must see something in him. Is he a Ten Hag player? I think he could be, genuinely. I mean, I had my doubts about him all last season. I mean, I'm sure if you guys go back to any video I put up, maybe around January time, I was probably saying sell Wan-Bissaka because he had not played. It didn't look like he was getting back into the team. So let's see what happens. Who else have we got down there? Big T is down there. Good to see you, man. Down is saying Marcus Rojo toast. Oh man, black, like burnt, like completely to a crisp, absolutely char grilled toast. Never forget it, man. Let's see as well who else we got down there. Lucky Singh is saying, let's get back to crossing the ball. I want to see that too. I want to see good crosses into the box. Gets us some more goals, different dimensions. That's what we want to see as well. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to drop them in as well. If you guys could drop a like on the video as well, would very much appreciate that as well. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them in. Let's check the poll. I've seen it hit 200 votes. We've got... how many players will Manchester United sign? That's what we've asked you guys on the poll tonight. So it is 1, 2, 3, or 4. And at the moment, you guys are favouring 4 with almost 50% of you guys saying we're going to sign 4 players. Stephanie is saying Maguire was signed to score headers from corners, and he does it for England better than us. Yeah, absolutely. Look, United, our corner kicks have been shocking for years. I want to see that improves. We have a set-piece coach. What is the guy doing? Like... what is he doing? I mean, where is the evidence that it's been improved? I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it, unfortunately. But any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them in down below. Big T is saying Weghorst would have scored 20 goals if he had crosses. Man, I don't know. Like, it is Weghorst. He could have had 20 open goals and scored 4 of them. Like, the guy did seem like no matter what he did, he couldn't score. He either hit the post or a goalkeeper somehow stopped it. I don't know. It is annoying. Phil is saying Vidic was and still is the GOAT. And Dan is saying Mason Mount on corners. Yes, as well, that's a good point, Dan. Thank you for that, man, because Mason Mount is a player with good set-piece delivery. He can take free kicks and he can take corners. Let's see what's going to happen. SBK says, I don't listen to Romano. He said we're getting Gakpo, and look at how that went. Look, I mean, yeah... everybody can afford to get a couple wrong. I think overall Romano gets a lot more right than he ever really gets wrong. But for me, I'm going to say David Ornstein is number 1. He is the number 1 tier, and he is at a level all by himself. But I will listen to Romano. I will listen to Simon Stone, Laurie Whitwell, guys like that. But the accuracy, it's not as high as with Ornstein. Ornstein is genuinely never ever wrong on this sort of stuff. So... let's see, Steven Gerrard has gone to Saudi Arabia for anyone who has missed that. Lincoln is saying Weghorst meant well, but only an average player. Yeah, I mean, he tried hard, he ran hard, he worked for the team. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not going to go in too hard for the guy because he just was never really at the level to be good enough. Stephanie is saying we're optimistic for more than 4 signings, truth be known. I would love to share the optimism. Look, I mean, if I could say we could bring in 7 or 8 players, I would love that. But I think 4's max. I think we're going to get Onana, we're going to get Hojlund. That's going to be 2. Add Mount, that's 3. Plus 1 more. That's what I think the window will look like. Maybe if we sell a lot of players, somehow we bring in more. I would love to say that. But I think that's going to be the maximum. Anything else is a bonus. I would love to see us bring in 5 or 6 players. It's like, I'm sure you guys remember Louis van Gaal's first season. I think we brought in like 5 or 6 players then. I think we bring in Luke Shaw, Herrera, Di Maria, Falcao, Rojo, and somebody else. I mean, that was a big difference, and like that really made a difference to that team in his first season. So I would like to see a big window like that. That could be ideal. 3 or 4 is more realistic. Ashid is right. It's never going to happen, unfortunately. And Katie is saying, I'd make a distinction between Ornstein as well. Yeah, I would as well. I think Ornstein here, Ornstein here, Romano probably here. Just a little bit of difference. Romano has a bit of a habit of liking to repeat himself. I see Kale is down there as well. What's up? Good to see you, Kale. Thank you for joining in, man. Phil is saying bye-bye, Stevie G. And I'm doing good, man. How are you doing as well? Hope you've had a good Monday, whatever you have been up to. If you guys have been in work, or if you guys, well, I suppose you guys are all around the world as well. You genuinely might be still in work or haven't gone to work yet. But thanks very much for joining in with me tonight. Really does mean the world for all you guys being in here. Genuinely incredible support on this channel. Like, I could not ask for anything else from you guys. Yeah, so any more thoughts, guys, make sure to get them in down below. Let me just do this as well. Who else have we got down here? Lucky is saying, I like Ornstein's reporting. Absolutely. He is 100% accurate. A David Ornstein exclusive. You guys can take it good as gold. It is fact. And it will be happening. And that's the big difference between Romano and Ornstein for me. I think Romano is brilliant, but I think he has kind of worked himself into a corner with the whole here we go thing. So it's kind of like he has to do that all the time. So he's always kind of repeating himself, always retweeting. We'll always see the same quotes come out week after week until a deal eventually happens. When Ornstein speaks, the deal is done. You know, that's the real difference here. Terry is saying he'll bring the Arabia League to Stevie G. Katie is saying, I'd make a distinction between Ornstein and Fabrizio in that David is the most accurate with United news, especially, but Romano is #1 across Europe. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Ornstein specializes more in English football. I don't think he does a lot of the European stuff. Romano is kind of an all-round thing. I mean, we see him reporting on Italian stuff, Spanish stuff, French stuff, even Scottish stuff. I've seen him put out plenty of things about Celtic and Rangers recently. Dan is saying, let's hope he doesn't lead Slippy. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them done there. Stephanie's saying Slippy G off to Saudi. I didn't know I was a poet. The comments are actually flying in as well here. SPK is saying Ornstein information never wrong. Romano's just a fake clickbaiter. And Big T says, who's your team to watch for this upcoming season other than us? I think Villa are going to do amazing things. That's a brilliant question there, Big T. I think Villa will do big things. I think Brighton as well, we might see a drop-off with Caicedo and McAllister leaving. Let's see what happens there. In terms of teams to look out for, man, I think Villa's a good shout. I really do. Maybe I just said, I don't know. Maybe Wolves, I guess. Suppose it depends if they get a goal scorer in or not. But I mean, they're a good defensive team. Lopetegui, top manager. Maybe they could be someone interesting. But I think Villa will be the team to watch. I think Villa are going to push right until the end next season, potentially for top 4. So top manager, top players in there, bringing in some nice players as well, the likes of, who've we got down there? Pau Torres and the likes. So Villa, yep, they're doing bits. Let me see as well. Yusuf is saying, any news on Harry Maguire? I have actually seen something on Maguire there for you, Yusuf. Let me just get this up for you, because you're mentioning it there, man. Let me check here, because I believe it was Romano said it. Yes, so Harry Maguire will be speaking to Eric Ten Hag. There is a chance he will leave Manchester United this summer. So that is coming from Romano. So as we know, it's an accurate source. Big C saying, lock up your camels. Davey's coming. Bodie is saying, do you think Fred will leave? I think Fred's more likely to leave than McTominay. I personally would keep hold of Fred over McTominay. I think he's a better player. But I think United, we're going to try sell him to Fulham. According to Neil Custis, £15 million is what we're looking for. Fulham, they'll probably pay it. Martin is saying, what about Osimhen and Mbappe? Yeah, man, we're not signing either Osimhen or Mbappe, unfortunately. I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. Terry is saying, do you think Lampard will join CVG? He might do. Dan thinks Brighton will be a player to look out for. Ashid is saying Pau Torres, Villa, of course. And Lucky is saying Newcastle and Arsenal for me. And Robert is saying Nonsense Club. Yep, Manchester United, it is nonsense. You are right there as well, Robert. And Rick as well, Newcastle will be stronger next season. We need to up our game. Big T says, I hope Saudi sign McManaman. His commentating irritates me. And Robert says, same old story on news every day. Yep, United, we like to drag things out, man. It is a nonsense. Let's see, there is a Harry Maguire stuff you guys are reacting to. I can see it down there. Terry says it's good news. Dan says McManaman and Carragher should be banned from United games. Thanks very much. And Bodie says, I will not miss Maguire if he goes. Maybe Al Nassr will want Harry Maguire. That could be an interesting one. I can see Kiel is talking about Onana potentially going to Al Nassr. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he will come to United. I would be surprised if he went to Saudi Arabia. Obviously, massive money, but I mean, United would pay him a lot of money as well. We will double his wage for sure. So I think he'll probably go United. I think it's more likely De Gea goes to Saudi Arabia now that he's a free agent. I think that could happen. Muwan is saying, any updates on the takeover? The only stuff we have on the takeover Muwan is a quote from Rio Ferdinand, and he is saying on his podcast that there is going to be an announcement tomorrow, and when it happens, you will all know what it is. So let's find out if Rio Ferdinand's talking the truth, if he's talking rubbish. Let's find out tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow will be an interesting day. Let's see what happens. I would be surprised though. I mean, tomorrow is the 4th of July. I don't know if anything's going to happen with the stock market, but we'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow. It will be interesting. Hey, also we got Martin saying, I usually miss Anthony more as well. Yeah, I mean, I think we miss Anthony as well. I think he's a good player. He's a lot of improvement in him, but I think the talent is there for sure. Any more thoughts, guys? Make sure to get them in down below. If you guys are new as well, please consider hitting the sub button. Really helps grow the channel and grow the community. You guys are genuinely incredible. And as well as that, guys, big shout out to our 4 channel members. We have Daniel, we have Big T, we have Dan, and we have Hot Fuzz as well. So those guys are genuine legends. Thank you very much for all the support and for joining as members. Link is up at the top as well if anybody else wants to join in. As well as that, guys, I think we're going to drop off here because we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. So, guys, I'm going to record some videos now. They'll be up tomorrow as well as the normal live stream. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Have a very good Monday evening, whatever you guys are up to, and take care.